What is going on, everybody? It's your man Micah back at Versatile Plays, back with another video, back here to talk about a specific piece of gear, some god roll gear if you will, for your boy Iron Man. Call me the Iron Man father, because Stark is in the building. First of all, this light dancer outfit is fire, right? So I'm going to show you guys a couple pieces of gear that I got that I consider god roll gear for Iron Man, and the reason why you guys should look out for these pieces of gear, because these will most definitely help you no matter what you're trying to do. Specifically if you're going with elemental damage, specifically if you're going for a raid, which means hint hint, some vibranium is involved, or if you're looking for specific stats that benefit Iron Man the most. And I'm not talking about might for melee. No, that's not what we're talking about here. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, so that way you know my videos on my live streams, so that way you can sit back, check, see what's cracking, and so that way you don't miss out on more of these videos. I've done plenty of builds in the past if you guys want to check out the channel to see those. Also, I may do these kind of videos in like short live stream bursts, which means that I'll just go live for like 15 to 20 minutes maybe and demonstrate some of the stuff that I've gotten or how you can put some things together. I think I might be able to get back into that because Marvel's Avengers Crystal Dynamics has made it a whole lot better now to get gear, and the gear to be more beneficial for each hero when building them out. Now we're just waiting on loadouts. So without further ado, let's jump in here. First of all, as I said, this is the Light Dancer epic outfit found in the store on the Hetla carrier. Shout out to Anakin Moon Skywalker who pointed this out while we were there. This suit, literally, you can see the colors change on it. It looks super fire. It's like it's morphing and just mutating around, just so fire, right? So as you see, I'm not completely maxed out on him yet. The way I'm going about it is kind of interesting because I want to get specific gear that high. I know I'll have a couple pieces that will finally reach that, but I want to get there the way I see best for Iron Man, so that way I can have a build that I can use more or less all the time and not just for raids. With that in mind, let's check out some of the gear that I'm currently using, and I then will point out the god roll gear. So here's a piece of gear that I've been upgrading along the way, the Omega Muon gloves. This is a great piece because precision, proficiency, and resolve. You get defense for Iron Man, so he lasts longer. You get proficiency, which increases his perk chance and his critical chance, and you get precision because of course Iron Man is all about ranged attacks, and currently, as you see, his range is around 4285. That will adjust going forward because there's a couple pieces that I have lingering that I'm hoping to upgrade at some point. Now coincidentally it says upgrade gear, which is interesting. Now if I jump in here, yeah, I didn't think so, unless yeah, oh okay. So a couple other pieces to keep in mind is, now this one I may get rid of because it's only 2 stats. I have made a solemn promise to myself now to only use 3 stat based gear because that only makes sense. But this piece is good if you're not sticking to that yourself. With resilience and valor, you get some heroic / good critical damage with this build here, and then you increase your output damage with Hulkbuster, and then of course you do vibranium damage. And I like the fact that they have been doing a better job of combining more attacks to deal such status effect damage. So as you see, you got light combo finishers and signature attacks. Another piece of gear that I'm hoping to upgrade here soon was this one, but then I forgot it had might and not precision. It would be nice that Iron Man kind of had more geared, you know, geared towards precision and not might. He gets a lot of might based gear. I don't understand why. And then of course you have a piece like this if you want to do sonic damage, depending on if you're trying to do battery damage in terms of warm and cool status effect damage. This one has might and precision and resilience, so you still get some kind of defense out of this, and you are coincidentally able to boost might while boosting your precision. You can increase your laser damage as well, so it depends on if you're trying to go lasers or rockets. I barely know anybody that does repulsors, But repulsors are dope, and repulsors also take the least amount of intrinsic energy. So there is a benefit there when it comes to Iron Man and his intrinsic energy. Now, this does light combo and signature attacks for sonic damage. Now, this piece is a slight god roll piece. I would say it's a it's a super roll piece. Reason being, laser attacks and the critical hit chance increase of 14% for all weapons. That's why this piece is a beast. Modular Mark 7 strikers. I just wish I could get this piece again and it re-rolls with precision, because then I would be more tempted to upgrade this piece. And then of course I got another piece that I'm going to use as an upgrade piece. Basically, you get the rampant assistance with the increased heroic charge rate and the 21% increased damage for lasers, but again, it's a 2-stat roll, so I'm going to discard this so that way I can get some of my upgrade modules back, because those are starting to fly off the chain. Now, here's where you're going to see the god roll pieces I'm referring to. It's all in regards to ranged. First piece, of course, is the Discordant Muon Ray Elite version. You get resilience, precision, and might. Why is this good? Because of all the vibranium destruction and melting you get with it. Vibranium double leak, which when attacking an enemy with vibranium damage that has an active sonic status effect, it spreads the vibranium status to nearby enemies. So hopefully you have teammates that you're playing with, or you have some of your other heroes with sonic on it, where once that the sonic status builds, you dealing vibranium damage will spread more vibranium damage to everybody. So that sonic just leaks vibranium damage to everybody. Now, the second perk on this is even better. Vibranium aerial aim damage. Range attacks performed while aiming or flying deal vibranium damage, which means all your range attacks, as long as you're aiming or you're flying, will deal vibranium damage. Now, this is going to be hard to do with repulsors unless you're flying and shooting at repulsors, because if you're just pressing triangle with repulsors, it's not going to work. But if you're aiming with repulsors, then it will work, much like with lasers flying and laser things down, vibranium damage, and aiming with your lasers, vibranium damage. Same with rockets. Aim R2 or RT if you're on Xbox, vibranium damage. If you're flying and you're targeting on to people with rockets, vibranium damage. But pressing triangle with this piece will not work. Now, I had another piece that I did dismantle that did allow for, if not repulsors, it was slightly different, which I would have considered a mini god roll, but this is most definitely a god roll piece for Iron Man. And of course, the pinpoint vibranium payload, 31% chance that a ranged crit will activate a vibranium payload. That is so nice, especially for the raid. So whether or not you're trying to deal with status effect damage, or just with the raid in particular, since you need vibranium status effect to deal a lot of damage or deal true damage to the echoes, this piece is a god roll piece. Now, this used to be my favorite piece, Precision, Valor, and Might. I mean, this Tachyon Rays is just like perfect, but I've kind of let it go. And this is my next favorite god roll piece, Proficiency, Intensity, and Precision. Why is this so good? Because you get intensity to boost your status effect damage. You get proficiency to, of course, raise your ability to activate perks and crit chance, and you get your precision or your ranged damage goes up. You get increased damage to rockets, which is very good. Your rockets inflict cosmic damage, and then the supercharged safeguard, gain increased defense based on the amount of supercharged intrinsic energy stored, up to a maximum of 10%. Now, it's kind of hard to do that unless you're overcharged, and you'll get your defensive buff, so to speak, with that, because otherwise with Iron Man you'll never have any stored intrinsic energy like that. So it's kind of a useless perk from that perspective, but it is a god roll piece because of the rocket damage and the rocket usage you can get out of this, which will tailor to another piece we'll get to in a second. Now, this piece would have been a god roll piece if it had a third stat, but this is range attacks dealing sonic damage, just like the piece I currently have on for the vibranium. This just isn't the elite version, but this piece is also a beast because while sending the Sonic Conduit buff to other heroes. The sender's attacks infused with any status effect deal 15% more damage, Sonic ranged attack damage, and then the Vibranium payload. So this is a very, very dope piece. But now you see another piece that's tied in terms of what I got going on here, and that is the Hive Mind Repulsors. Super God roll piece for Iron Man. Why is that? Because repulsors and lasers deal cosmic damage, and it's got a cosmic potentiator on it, which increases cosmic damage by 20%. Intensity, precision, valor. Perfect for Iron Man. Why is this such a good piece? Again, this piece, along with this piece, goes hand in hand with an heroic piece. We'll get to that in a second. And then you go, of course, you got this piece here, which is a mini god roll piece, the modular Mark 13 Muon Ray, intensity, proficiency, precision. Beautiful. You get stun damage increase for Hulkbuster, which works against Claw at the end of the raid. Rockets deal vibranium damage, and then you increase the duration of Hulkbuster by 8.5 seconds, which means you can get 1 or 2 extra EMP pulses to stun Claw. So this is like a specific raid piece, unless you didn't really care about the raid and you just like some vibranium damage and you just wanted to increase your Hulkbuster usage. Great piece right here. This piece, I don't know why we have. Get rid, goodbye. Now, the defense is hard to nail down with Iron Man. Now, raid gear wise, great gear. Outside of that, it's been a little tough until you change your mindset about Iron Man. Why is that? The current piece I have on is Discordant Shielding, the elite version, resilience, precision, and valor. You would think perfect, right? Enemies defeated by the Unibeam explode, which is dope. Inflicts 25% additional damage to enemies afflicted by an active vibranium status effect. And then the Sonic Conduit buff, which helps you, less likely to be staggered. Not that big of a deal, but I would consider this a borderline god roll tier piece, right? Now, the next piece that I've upgraded for him is specific to Iron Man, and this is the modular Mark 13 armaments. Reduces intrinsic energy cost for using energy shield, which is basically your energy barrier. Minus 20% damage when overcharged, and then 15% chance to automatically activate energy pulse when taking damage, completely negating the attack. The energy pulse is your parry move with Iron Man. Resolve, resilience, intensity. So now this isn't so much about attacking as it is giving your Iron Man or your suit of armor some defense, the ability to withstand the fight. Great piece right here. And then when I get another piece, I will be upgrading this, because for the raid specifically, this is an ultimate god roll tier piece. The Discordant Shielding. Precision, might, valor. Of course, why would you not have that on, right? You get vibranium safeguard and sonic immunity, 25% damage reduction from any vibranium attacks, and 47% chance to completely resist all damage from a sonic attack. And then of course the less likelihood to be staggered when the Sonic Conduit is sent to other heroes. Perfect piece for the raid, because you virtually get to negate a ton of damage while raiding the mission. Perfect piece right here. I just hope to upgrade it, because this will be part of a specific loadout for the raid, much like my Discordant Muon raids will be specific to the raid. And this leads to the heroic side of things. Now, the current piece of gear I have on is the Reactor of the Storm, which is Tachyon, a Tachyon piece of gear. Tachyon Anomaly is how you're going to get this. And from a stat roll perspective, god tier, right? Look at how high the stats are, and then on top of that, precision, intensity, valor. Perfect for Iron Man, right? Lethal Tachyon Surge. Defeating enemies grant Tachyon Surge buff. You got a cosmic potentiator on it, which increases cosmic status fill rate, and 18% increased support heroic ability. Perfect. That means you're going to be able to supercharge or overcharge Iron Man often. And because I have this melee piece on right now, where I do some cosmic damage with signature attack, which I don't do all that often, I get some benefit out of that, right? This I would consider a mini God roll tier piece. But the piece that you want to keep in mind, especially for a cosmic build, a build that I may go back to for Iron Man when I level him up to 175 and potentially the new, power levels, reset will we make it with Jane Foster or She-Hulk. I may go back to a cosmic build, and that is because bada boom, bada bang, the Omega Reactor Core. Who said you couldn't get any good OLT gear? Ionic Overdrive, the primary perk that you want from this build. Dealing damage to enemies afflicted with the cosmic status effect restores a small amount of intrinsic energy on every hit. This paired with the lasers keeps you completely charged and will overcharge you near instantly. The other two perks also work very well because you defeat enemies with the cosmic lasers or cosmic rockets. Now the rockets, the build up may not be as fast, but it could be, considering I'll show you my stats in a second. But that's why this will still work with rockets. Defeating cosmic afflicted enemies grants the cosmic aura buff, regenerating willpower for self and teammates within range, and then the lethal cosmic surge, which dealing damage restores a small amount of willpower and heroic energy. This is a self-sustaining reactor core for Iron Man. Like you got to have this. Now I've had many different versions of it, but largely it's been the same. This has kind of been the best stats that I've gotten with it so far. And this piece I liked as well until I came across a better piece, which was this one. Modular Mark 13 Arc Accelerator. Precision, Might, Valor. Of course, why is that not perfect for Iron Man, right? 20% increased damage from Hulkbuster, 50% increased critical attack damage from all weapons, and melee attack slowly regenerate willpower while supercharge is active. Now, the critical attack damage is a tough one because depending on where your proficiency is and or how much valor you have on your Iron Man, getting that armory spike may not be as often, but when it does hit, it hits pretty hard. So I will say this is pretty good. This is like a mini God roll tier piece. This I don't even know why I have this. This is garbage. I don't need that. No. So these are the pieces I have so far. This is good with precision and valor, but it's a 2 stat. I'm probably gonna get rid of it, just not right now. Right now, in terms of artifacts. Artifacts, I kind of accidentally left this on and running a raid, but I largely saw no effect to my health like that. But Vital Cosmic Aura, reviving a teammate grants Cosmic Aura buff, right? And then reduce cosmic damage taken. This definitely works for the OLT because of the cosmic damage you take in that. This definitely helps with that. And then of course a triple stack on precision. How could you not have that for Iron Man? And I get increased regeneration for my ultimate heroic, as well as my stun meter buildup, which isn't a big deal. I barely do any heroic heavy combo finishers. So if I can get, I do have an unless I think I put it away. Hold up, stop playing with me. I have a Thor piece in here that I need to check out. I didn't even realize I had that. It's pin particles, so I'm probably not gonna be as excited by it, but here we go. So this is another one I got a triple stack on. It's literally the same thing. So if I really wanted to boost my precision, I could have 2 of these on Iron Man and his precision would go up probably past 5,000. But as it stands now, Valor, I kind of need the Valor right now. Resolve, whether or not I need it right now, the intensity I'm currently making use of. Now I told you guys I would show you my stats, right? I told you guys I would show you my stats. So my precision right now is through the roof, right? Over 500 points. Proficiency is a little low, right? So 30% chance for perk activation and 24% crit chance. So it's a little tough from that perspective, right? I need to figure out a way to get my proficiency up. Trust me, this is not my final build, but it is a build that I'm working to be more finalized. And then my Valor is doing pretty good, 282% critical attack damage. And then Resolve is pretty high, and Resilience is pretty high. So he's got some good health. Intensity, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, was my intensity. That's what makes this build so good as of right now, is because of the intensity. 101% stun status meter damage. One hit, instant, full gauged status meter build up. So when you're talking about Vibranium, you're doing a ton of damage there. And then you got a 50% status resistance onto himself. And then of course you see my charge rates, they're doing pretty decent. But that intensity is what makes this build so good. And hopefully I can maintain that when I switch this out for these bad boys here, which largely I will, because the current piece I have on has no intensity, but it has but this other piece does. So I hopefully it doesn't lower my intensity. But this, because sometimes if you start getting too high with intensity, your percentage in which you do stun status meter or stun status meter damage buildup, it actually like lowers, unless and that was a bug from long ago. So putting this on or this on, I still have intensity, which will be good. Yeah, that's the build. That's what I got going on right now. So God roll tier build, or God roll gear, the discordant muon ray elite, arguably the superior mark 15 RT node, the hive mind repulsors with these stats, the discordant muon ray regular, although I would say you need a third stat on it. Over here, because of the stats, I'd say the Omega Muon gloves, but don't hold me to that one. I haven't necessarily came across a great piece. Now this could be considered God roll because of the lasers and whatnot, and the stats aren't too bad on that, and that's booty. And then the discordant shielding elite, as well as the discordant shielding with the stats God roll, baby, God roll. The current piece I have on was the reactor of the storm, the Omega reactor core, and the modular Mark 13 arc accelerator. All depends on what kind of build you have. If you have a Hulkbuster based build, you know, this gear completely changes because you're heavily utilizing Hulkbuster, and hopefully we'll get some more improvements and upgrades to Hulkbuster in the future from Marvel's Avengers, of course. Now, my major artifact that I did not mention, this is kind of more like a notable mention, Vibranium all the way. Do I need it? Not necessarily. I increase the fill rate of the Vibranium status meter by 30%. I don't need that because it's already automatically filled. Increase the radius and damage of that Vibranium status effect by 20%, which is something maybe more useful. And then of course summoning Okoye to use and utilize more Vibranium damage. Kind of cool. This piece I don't have to have on. I could always switch. I don't have any damage buffs, but I could do a damage boost with this if I wanted to, or just switch back to Tactagon where I get increased damage affected by any status. That probably makes more sense, and then increased status damage from all attacks. So with this build I actually don't need the Komoyo beads because I have 100% intensity. So the last switch out to make this build more complete is using the Tactagon. The Tactagon, the Tactagon, the Tactagon. And then that light dancer. Because that's what we do, baby. We dance with the lights. So that is the build for Iron Man. I don't know how long this video was, but I definitely want to showcase you guys an update on where my Iron Man is right now. Some good things and changes will be coming in the very near future, especially once we get the new event that will take place Thursday. What would that be? June 9th, right? Where we get a refresh of meta chain missions to get more gear. I'm gonna run Iron Man through that, of course, through the gauntlets, not just the hive gauntlets. I'm talking about mission chains. Run him through the fire to shore up some more of this gear, and hopefully even get more gear to come back and update you on that as well. But as it stands, we're at 170 with some future, well, with some pieces we're gonna keep because we're considering those God roll level gear. Let me know if you guys came across any of this gear yourself for Iron Man, or some God roll pieces you came across for other heroes. Let me know down in the comment section below about what you think about what's going on with my Iron Man right now, and if you're an Iron Man user yourself. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that way you never miss my videos or my live streams. So we can sit back, chillax, see what's cracking. But your man Mike is signing out until the next video, a live stream. Wait for and keep it gaming.